Hey guys, so this is going to be the first video of my two-part series that's going to cover on-site SEO. So this video is going to be a step-by-step guide to setting up the things we need for our websites to have good on-site SEO. So the plugins we need to install, the settings we need to choose, etc. The next video in this two-part series is going to teach you how to use the things we've installed just in this video to improve your SEO and maintain a good SEO foundation. Both videos are crucial to having a good on-site SEO foundation, so make sure you check them both out. So before we start, there's a few things I want to go over. The first thing is whether or not you have a developer handy to help you out or not. It's not 100% necessary, you don't need one, but it can be beneficial. Some of these on-site things are a bit hard and can be quite techy. You can do them yourselves, but it will help if you have a developer handy. Things like fixing up your page load speed or fixing 404 errors and malware and crawl errors and things like that. But you do not need one, it's just handy if you have one. The next thing is to make sure the theme you're using is mobile friendly. You can check that just by going onto your website on a mobile device and you're seeing what the website looks like. Another thing is to try and choose a clean theme so your page load speed won't be too high. If you're using any of the filler themes, then don't worry, I will show you how you can speed up your site later on so it doesn't take too long to load. And that's everything. Now we can get started with setting up everything we need to have good on-site SEO. Okay, so the first step of this step-by-step guide is to install Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools. I'm going to take you over to the live screen and show you how to do this. Okay, so here we are at the live screen. You want to go to google.com/analytics, or just type Google Analytics into Google, and then you want to sign in with your Gmail account. Yours might look a little different to mine here if you've never used Google Analytics before, if it's a brand new account, but essentially what you want to do is find your way to the admin section, and then click on here, and then click create new account, and you basically just want to fill out this information for your own site once it loads. So account name, then you want to select an industry. I can never find the one that matches, so I'm just going to pick this one. Select your time zone, and then I untick all of these because Google has enough of my data already. Then I want to get my tracking ID. Change this to where you live. I accept. I didn't read it. I should have read it. Nah, nobody reads it. And then I want to take this tracking ID and we're going to put this in our website. Okay, so here we're at the dashboard of my site where I want to install Google Analytics. There are quite a few different ways of how to do this, but I don't tend to use the ones that mess with the code because I always fail with it and it never really works out too well. So I'm actually just going to install a plugin. You shouldn't really use too many plugins because it will slow down your site, but for this I'm just going to do it. I'm going to hit add new, and then one I use is Yoast Google Analytics. We're going to install another Yoast plugin later, but we'll just do this one for now. And it's this one just here. We'll do install now. And wait for that to load. I'm going to activate the plugin, and then we're going to find it, settings, and then we want to authenticate with our Google account. We're going to allow this, and then we're going to copy this code and paste it here, and then click save authentication code. And then you just want to go where it says Analytics Profile and click the right one and then hit Save Changes. Once that's done, you can go back to the Google Analytics page here, and it might still say no data received. I'd check it again after a day or two and it should start receiving data. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to install is Google Webmaster Tools. It's very similar to Google Analytics. Just type in Google Webmaster Tools into Google and you'll go to the website, sign in with your Google account. Yours might look different to mine again, and what you want to do is hit add a property, type in your domain name, hit continue, and it's going to give you a few ways to verify it. I normally just do the alternate methods, and I'll take the HTML tag, just copy this, and if you go to your dashboard and then you go to appearance, editor, and then theme header, and then we'll place it just before, I think I've already done it, just there, just before the ending head tag, and hit update file. If you want, you can use some of the other ways as well, and then once you've done that, just hit verify, and then once the verification is done, you'll land on this page. It'll keep saying no data available at the moment if you've just installed it. If you've had it installed before, then you probably have a lot more data, but we'll come back to this later on. So now that we've installed Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools, we're going to move on to the next step, which is installing Yoast SEO plugin and selecting the correct settings. I'm going to head over to the live screen and show you how to do this. So we're back on the dashboard. We're going to head over to our plugin section and hit add new. I'm going to type in Yoast SEO, and then we're going to install this one. and activate the plugin. And we're going to close that, we don't need the tool. And you can see it right here, Yoast SEO. So now that we've installed the Yoast SEO plugin, we're going to make some good changes that's going to help us with our on-site SEO. So head over to SEO here and then click titles and metas. First thing we're going to do is head over to other, and then we're going to click no index the subpages of archives, and then hit save changes. And then the next thing we're going to do is head over to the post tabs and make some changes here. So this is the title template for your posts and your pages. And here's a bit of code. What this separate and site name part here is doing is if we come here, these are all the pages that are indexed on Google for my website. You can see it keeps saying the site name, my website's name, and there's a pike or a hyphen. I don't really like that. I want them all to be unique, so I'm going to get rid of them. And I'm just going to remove that, and then remove it here as well. I leave media how it is, and then I'm going to head to the bottom and hit save changes as well. And then I'm going to head over to taxonomies, and then I'm going to hit no index for the categories, and I'm going to hit no index for the tags, and hit save changes. Now we're going to head over to the archives, and we're going to disable the author archives. If you have more than one author on your site, then don't disable them, just no index them. But if you only have one author, disable it and hit no index, and then hit save changes. Okay, what we're going to do next is head a bit lower, head over to the advanced section of the SEO. We're going to hit permalinks and then change some settings here. So for the first one, strip the category base. If you already have a site with articles in different categories, then just keep it as it is. If it's a brand new site and you don't have any content yet, then hit remove. We want to redirect the attachment URL to the parent post. We want to keep this as remove. And then we want to do this one and do remove as well. And then it's up to you for this head section here. If you use RSS links, then you might show them or you can hide them. It's up to you. And then save changes. So that's pretty much all I do when I configure Yoast SEO. There might be some other settings you want to have a look at, but I just leave it like that. You might be wondering what we just did all of that for, but in the next video I'm actually going to show you how to identify junk pages on your website, i.e. pages that don't add any value to Google, and how what we just did actually helps you clear up a lot of those junk pages. But for now, we'll just move on to the next step. So we've installed Yoast now, and we've selected pretty good settings to help us with our on-site SEO, so we can move on to the next step, which is actually we're going to boost your site's loading speed so it loads faster, people get less frustrated, and it looks better to Google. So we're back on the live screen, and first I'm going to show you how you can test your site's speed. First thing you can do is grab your URL, head over to this website here, gtmetrics.com, enter your URL and hit analyze, and this is going to find out how fast your site loads. Takes a bit of time, but we'll wait and see. Any minute now. So you can see it's come back with a report of a lot of different information. You can see there's some recommendations on things you can do to make your site load faster. This is the kind of thing where I said if you have a developer, it'll be quite handy because you can just pass them this information and they can do it for you. But I'm actually going to show you some easy things you can do to make your site load faster. But before we do that, what you want to do is actually get an average page load time. So if you look here, it says 3.2 seconds. You want to run this test 3 times and then get an average. I've already done mine, and the average for my site is about 2.8 seconds. So I'm going to try and get that lower. Okay, so here we're at the live screen. The first thing we're going to do to improve our site speed is install some plugins. So we head over to the plugin section and hit add new. The first plugin we're going to install is called WP Smush. And it's just this one right here. So we're going to install it and then activate the plugin. So once that plugin is installed, head over to the settings area for it just here. And then you want to make sure this is to smush images on upload. And then if you have any images that haven't been smushed, you want to bulk smush them now. What this does is reduces the file size of the images, so that when it loads, it takes less time, so your overall site speed will load a bit faster. So I'm going to bulk smash. You can also go into your media library and choose individual photos, because maybe you're not using them all. And then just wait for this, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to install our next plugin. So back to plugins and then add new. And this is the plugin we're going to install, Auto Optimize, whatever that says. Hit enter. It's just this one here. I'm going to install now and configure some of these settings. And we'll activate the plugin and head over to the settings like we always do, so we can make the relevant changes, settings. And then we're going to optimize the HTML code and then optimize the CSS code. Actually, maybe not the CSS code, optimize the JavaScript code, and then save changes and empty cache. Wait for that to load, and that's that plugin, and then we can move on to the next one. So normally I'd install another plugin called WP Super Cache or W3 Total Cache, but for some reason it's been blocked. I'm assuming that Affilo theme or Affilo Jetpack have their own caching in the background if you're hosting with them, which I currently am for this website. If you aren't hosting with them, then install WP Super Cache, because it's going to help your website site speed dramatically. But for now, that's all I'm going to install. So what I'm going to do now is check my site speed again and see if anything has changed. Okay, so I've gone ahead and checked my site speed again. As you can see, the page load time is 2.3. Previously, it was 3.2. Once again, you do want to calculate the average though. So my average for this time, once I did it 3 times, was about 2.5. Previously, it was about 2.8. It's not that big of a difference, but it's still a little bit. What I would say is, as long as your page load time is between 2 to 3 seconds, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you retest it and you get like a 3.5 or 3 seconds, as long as that's not too common, then I wouldn't worry. If you do want to improve your site speed, then I'd probably just suggest getting a developer to help you out, sending them this information, and they'll fix it a lot easier. The things I showed you, the plugins, are just an easy way to boost it a little bit, and as long as it's between 2 to 3 seconds, like I said, that's perfectly fine, in my opinion. So that's what we're going to do for boosting our site's loading speed at the moment. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is install a plugin that's going to help you fix broken links that you didn't know were there. So I'm going to head over to the live screen and show you how to do this. Okay, so back on the live screen, we're going to install another plugin. So add new. This one's called Broken Link Checker. And then install now. And then activate it. You don't have to do anything to this one, I don't believe. It's automatic and it's just going to run in the background, but I'm just going to double check. We'll go to settings. You can change some of the settings, but what it basically does is it scans your pages and your posts to see if there's any broken links. So you might link to a website and then that link gets disabled, or they've deleted that page and it doesn't work anymore. You get notified. You can have it checked every 72 hours, every 24 hours, whatever you want. It does say new links will be checked as soon as possible, which is good. I'd probably click send email notifications so you know where to get the emails. And then you can see whenever there's a broken link and you can go and fix it. That's not just good for SEO, it's also good for your audience, because you don't want them clicking on a link and then realizing it doesn't work. It doesn't take them where they expected it to take them, or you wanted it to take them. That's not a good user experience, so it's better for your site if that doesn't happen, which is why we installed this plugin. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. We've set up the foundational things we need, so like the plugins and the settings. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the things we've installed to run checks on your site to make sure the on-site SEO is good. If you are hosting your site away from Affilo Jetpack or Affilo Theme, Affilo Rama, and you've got a private host like HostGator and you need some help with installing WP Super Caching and how to optimize it, just let me know and I will make a separate video for that. But yeah, that's the end for this video. Have a good day, guys.